Hey YouTube, Joeboy here. So, sometimes in One Piece, Oda gives us a mystery to chew on, something to think on that we know for sure will eventually pay off. But other times, fans create a mystery that may not actually be there, but with a few connected dots, some creativity, all of a sudden, something seemingly straightforward and agreed upon becomes potentially much deeper. This is going to be that second kind of theory. Will it happen? Maybe. Is something here? Maybe. If you believe it, it'll blow your mind. If it happens, One Piece fans across the world will lose their collective minds, guaranteed. But that is no certainty. A very strong tinfoil warning is in effect as we speculate what really happened on the day of Big Mom's 6th birthday, the day Mother Carmel disappeared. So here's what we know, alright? We know that Big Mom ate Mother Carmel. We know this because Big Mom suddenly possessed Carmel's devil fruit shortly after her disappearance. Mother Carmel is dead. She has to be. Since there isn't a scene of Big Mom picking up her devil fruit, we presume that she obtained her devil fruit because she consumed it by consuming Mother Carmel. That happened. But what about the rest of the children in the orphanage, the rest of the lamb house? The manga suggests Big Mom ate them just the same as Carmel. And the anime really suggests this even further. But the fact is, in both mediums, we don't know for sure. Not yet. Maybe we'll never know. I have my doubts Oda's actually ever going to show this if that is what occurred. But the point is it's left ambiguous. There is room to speculate. There is definitely times in One Piece in which the obvious is not the case. Where Oda is purposefully deceitful for the purpose of creating an epic moment that nobody would expect later. When Oda does something unnecessary, I pay attention. Likely several days, maybe weeks before Linlin's 6th birthday, Carmel has a conversation with CIPHER POL. Carmel is a child trafficker and she wants to sell Big Mom. Once she does, she wants to retire. Linlin is the greatest prospect she has ever discovered, capable of rising to the rank of Admiral or becoming the greatest member of CIPHER POL. She point blank tells CP0, "You are going to buy this girl. I know what she's worth. She destroyed half of the village of Elbaf at the age of 5. I've always been intrigued by the theory that on the day of Big Mom's 6th birthday, Carmel intended to sell Big Mom to the world government and CIPHER POL. And it's not really a crazy theory because in the anime, Carmel straight up says it. She says, if I hand over the rest of the kids tomorrow to the Navy, it's all over. As she is counting her money, which we should assume she received from CIPHER POL for the orphans. Therefore, this was the day before Big Mom's 6th birthday. The day of Big Mom's 6th birthday was also the day that Carmel intended to sell the orphans to the world government. Guys, there's a lot about what took place in this conversation and this reveal in general that's unnecessary. Was it important maybe to reveal Carmel as a member of CP0 for later reveals down the line, sort of what the world government is doing behind the scenes in the black market and the underground? Sure. But why reveal that Carmel was literally just about to sell Big Mom and the other orphans? In fact, on the very same day that they happened to die. Did Oda just wanted to make some sort of dramatic irony for the readers? Or is there more here? And actually, we learned even more than that. The story essentially tells us that CP0 is comprised of many orphans. Carmel says orphans make for excellent intelligence agents because orphans can't be traced. She picks the strongest one each year to sell to the government. They are particularly useful in CIPHER POL. This is something that a lot of people gloss over. Oda revealed this bit of information during this flashback. Why is it important to know that CP0 or CIPHER POL in general is comprised of orphans, trafficked? I think that we're supposed to believe that the deal with the world government, it never came to pass. That's what we are led to believe. But if all of this is true, I have a question for you. Where was CP0? Where was CIPHER POL? The deal was imminent. Carmel had already collected the money in the anime. We can see this. The exchange was coordinated. The date was picked. The government should have showed up to collect the children on the very day that they died, yet they didn't. Sure, it's possible that Big Mom killed the orphans and Mother Carmel before they arrived, but why didn't they show up later? Big Mom presumably stayed on Carmel's islands for several days after Mother Carmel disappeared. When did CP0 show up? When did CIPHER POL show up? Where were they? It makes no sense. It makes no sense that they did not appear, and that they did not at least witness or learn what happened there. Why didn't Oda include this in the story? Why did he cut it? My theory here, guys, which is not directly suggested by the story, but can be if you connect certain dots and you get a little creative, is that maybe they did show up. And what we saw of Big Mom's 6th birthday, Big Mom's own recollection, her flashback, it's a fantasy, a delusion. Big Mom, in some way or another, blocked out what actually happened, which is already true to some extent because she ate Mother Carmel but does not remember that, or know where she went, or can't logic that, rationally speaking, it's very obvious what happened to her. You can actually see her dress torn there on the ground, but no Mother Carmel. Big Mom's dumb, but I don't think that she's that dumb. There's a layer of I don't want to know the truth here. Repressed memories. This theory is pretty straightforward when you get down to it, and really you can use, your imagination to make it work however feels right to you. There's many ways to make this work. In my mind, Carmel told the orphans that day that she had found homes for them. These people were here already, ready to take them to their new homes, however Carmel usually did this. To me, this only makes sense. If you intend on making the transaction, the exchange that day, then you have to let the orphans know. And Big Mom freaked out. Big Mom has abandonment issues. Big Mom has been abandoned at every point in her life. When she was a child with her parents, she waited for them. They never came back. She loved the Giants of Elbaf, and then one day, they didn't love her back, and she was forced to leave. Maybe she didn't want to be abandoned by Mother Carmel. Maybe she didn't want to lose her friends. I always found it interesting that Oda implied that Big Mom ate everybody. Certainly she ate Mother Carmel, I think. Why? Besides the fact that it was shocking and totally shattered the community's minds at the time. The anime had a pretty gruesome interpretation, as Big Mom was totally delusional in Fantasyland. It suggested, in the anime, that she eats each and every one of them, saying, essentially, we'll stay together forever. Does that hint at the truth of Big Mom's mindset and her interest, her real interest, in eating Mother Carmel? I can't lose you if we become one. Big Mom clearly feared losing them. And this is brought up supposedly before Big Mom realized that they had left. The truth is that Carmel had no intention of staying together with Linlin even for a few more hours, let alone forever. Losing Mother Carmel and the other orphans may have been traumatic for Big Mom, enough for her to lose her clearly unstable mind, and with twisted internal logic find pleasure or a desire in eating Carmel, so she would always be with her. So this is where we take the theory to the next level. On the day that Big Mom ate Mother Carmel, I think that the children, the other orphans, or some of the other orphans at least, actually survived. Unlike Big Mom, the government was able to retrieve them, protect them, and in fear of Big Mom, they all escaped the island without her. When Big Mom comes to, they had already run away. The only one that Big Mom certainly killed was Mother Carmel. And this here is the evidence which brings it all together. In the recent chapters in Wano, CP0 has arrived, and people have pointed out that two of their members bear a striking similarity to orphans of the Lamb House, a man who wears a similar mask to one of the orphans and a long-armed. Oda has literally told us that orphans are valuable to CIPHER POL. CIPHER POL is comprised of many trafficked orphans. The anime tells us that Mother Carmel had already sold all of the members of Lamb House, all of the orphans, to the government. The government should have arrived on the very day of Mama's 6th birthday. These orphans would be roughly the same age as Big Mom is today, still young enough to be active members of CIPHER POL, old enough to be senior members. So the question here, guys, is if this theory is true, is Big Mom going to meet agents of CIPHER POL who survived on that day? Big Mom's friends from her past, the other orphans. Obviously guys, for this theory to be as persuasive as it can be, you have to believe that the anime is canon. And I do, because it has been for a while. Guys, I want you to understand that the fallout of this theory being true, if it is true, is huge. Because CIPHER POL is here, in Wano, ready to play a big role. If Big Mom discovers that these are the orphans, who knows what happens? And if they become high-ranking members of CIPHER POL, members of CIPHER POL Zero, they might even know the truth. Right, Oda reveals that there's pretty much two characters which know of what transpired that day. You have Stroizen and a giant that went back to Elbaf and basically told all the giants of Elbaf. But what both of them don't know, that CIPHER POL could potentially know, is that Mother Carmel was an agent. She was a child trafficker, a member of the underground. Oda revealed this, and it's a fun fact. But it becomes 3 times as game-changing if Big Mom discovers this for herself. But regardless of that, what I believe, and what I've always believed, is that at some point in time, Big Mom needs to discover what happened to Mother Carmel. Her tantrum in Whole Cake Island, the plan to assassinate her. Mama, where did you go? Big Mom has to find that out. So you need a character present who would be willing to tell her. Stroizen certainly isn't that person. Giants of Elbaf are not here. CIPHER POL, in order to disturb her, upset her, that's so much more viable. And the chain reaction of doing so could be catastrophic. I assume that the members of CP0 are smart. I assume that the members of CP0 are very calculated. You want a galaxy brain moment. We saw what happens when Big Mom loses her mind in Totland. Without anybody there to save her, she was going to destroy all of Totland. Right now we're wondering whether CIPHER POL intends to destroy all of Wano, and it no longer needs either Kaido or Orochi. And no matter who wins this conflict, they're against all pirates that are here. CIPHER POL and the government have been observing Big Mom for years, and Stussy was there present to witness the events of the Tea Party. What they need is they need a weapon against Kaido and Wano, maybe to erase it from the map. Hide all evidence that they ever dealt with pirates. I think realistically, if you're smart enough to connect the dots, that weapon could be Big Mom. Big Mom is clearly, very clearly unstable. She's a ticking time bomb, capable of destroying an entire country when set loose. All I know for certain is that CP0 has a reason to be confident that after this battle with the Strats, no matter who wins, CIPHER POL believes they will win. But yeah guys, this is not a new theory, this is an old theory. We talked about this 3 years ago. I watched my old video about this, it's unwatchable. And we combined it basically with the idea that the members of CP0 here are those orphans. In the past, people speculated that the members of the Lamb House, the orphans, had survived, but were actually members of the underground. I never fully bought that theory, but I've always loved the idea that the orphans survived and were saved because CP0 was present. So it's nice to be able to talk about this theory again because I love it. This is probably my favorite tinfoil theory out there right now. But as always, I'm curious as to what you guys think about the theory. Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike the video if you disliked the video, subscribe if you want to be notified for my future content, and as always guys, have a wonderful day.